Welcome to Rebable AI, your daily AI briefing. It's the 13th of July, and we've got 33 stories for you today. Let's dive in. Part 1. Focus. First up today, OpenAI has officially released its GPT 5.6 model series, including Sol Ultra, and Luna. Using 64 collaborating subagents, GPT 5.6 Sol Ultra proved the 50-year-old cycle double cover conjecture in less than an hour. While critics note the proof lacks citations of previous literature, it demonstrates a breakthrough in complex mathematical reasoning for AI. Next, Google DeepMind has launched Antigravity 2.0, its next-generation agent development platform. This platform evolves the ID into an agent-first architecture. It supports auto-scaling interaction, multi-workspace parallel scheduling, and local fine-tuning based on Gemini 3 via the Tinker API. The goal is to enable AI agents to autonomously execute end-to-end software development tasks across editors, terminals, and browsers. Meanwhile, Professor Yang Kuo from the Harbin Institute of Technology, Shenzhen, has founded the embodied AI startup Dawn AI and released Touch World. This is a tactile world model designed for dexterous manipulation. By aligning visual and tactile modalities, the model allows robots to predict future frames and correct actions in real time, using high-frequency feedback, moving humanoid robots towards safe physical operation. And to wrap up this section, NVIDIA Yoke laptops powered by its new RTX Spark superchip at Bilibili World. The chip connects a 20-core Grace CPU and a Blackwell GPU using InReLink C2C. It delivers 128 GB of unified memory and 1 petaflop of computing power. This setup supports running 120 billion parameter models and 1 million tokens of context locally, enabling efficient on-device personal agents. Part 2. Trends. Moving on to our next section, Google has released the Magema 27B multimodal model alongside the MedSiglip medical image MCUR. The 27B model scored 87.7% on the MedQA benchmark, approaching DeepSeek R1's performance at only 1/10 of the inference cost. It supports complex electronic health records and medical image interpretation, offering a powerful open-source foundation for localized and privacy-focused medical AI. Next up, Google and DeepMind have introduced Volte Gemma 1B, the first open-source, large language model trained from scratch using differential privacy. The research team derived scaling laws specifically for differentially private language models. By adding noise during training, the model prevents the memorization of sensitive data, establishing a new theoretical and engineering paradigm for AI development in privacy-sensitive fields. In another development, the Chinese University of Hong Kong and Koishu's Kling team have co-released ShotStream, a streaming multi-shot long video generation framework. It treats multi-shot synthesis as a next shot generation task based on historical context. Feeding a dual buffer memory mechanism and discontinuous rope, it achieves 16 frames per second real-time streaming on a single H200 GPU, over 25 times faster than traditional bidirectional models. One more on this front, researchers from Renmin University of China and the Shanghai IA Laboratory have unveiled Biometrics, a multimodal biological foundation model. It maps small molecule libelous protein sequences, 3D structures, and natural language into a shared, discrete token space, without using external encoders or adapters. This single decoder-only architecture natively supports 80 biological tasks, including molecule design and protein folding. First up in our trend section, Moonshot AI has officially released the Kimi K2 open-source agentic model. Utilizing a mixture of experts architecture, it features 1 trillion total parameters and 32 billion active parameters. Kimi K2 has achieved state-of-the-art results on benchmarks like SwideBench Shrid, Tau2, and AceBench, demonstrating powerful capabilities in code generation and autonomous agent task execution. Next, the Sophie team has launched Sophie's 30B, A3B, a sovereign open-source base model for German and English. Built on a hybrid mixture of experts and Mamba architecture, it was pre-trained on 27 trillion tokens. The model integrates synthetic data technology, aiming to provide Europe with a highly cost-effective alternative for AI sovereignty. Finally, for this section, Meta has pulled its controversial Muse image feature just days after launch due to public backlash. The tool allowed users to generate AI photos of others' videos mentions. Because it was enabled by default without requiring the subject's consent, it raised serious privacy and ethical concerns. Meta has admitted that the design went off track. Part 3. Tools. Moving on to our tools section, developers have open-sourced a Rust-based safety tool called DSEG, or Destructive Command Guard, integrated as a pre-tool. Use hook in agents like Claude Code and Codex. It uses AS structure analysis and dual regauge engines. The tool intercepts catastrophic commands like ARM, ARF within milliseconds of latency, protecting local developer workspaces. Next up, developers have open-sourced Sur0Fit, a local zero-shot machine learning MAPE service. It packages Google NewTab FMA and TimesFM tabular and time series foundation models. With just 25 lines of code, users can perform zero-shot forecasting, classification, and regression on classic SaintPals using natural language in clients like OpenWebUI and Claude Code, bypassing hyperparameter tuning. Meanwhile, developers have introduced TronChangPal, a proxy tool designed to fix a silent truncation bug in Llama. Currently, when prompts exceed the context length, Llama silently discards early information while still returning in HTTP 200 OK Street A2s without changing Llama's architecture. CanXTankPaw reconstructs prompts by keeping the beginning and end while discarding the middle, preventing agent failures. In other news, the Voltron Retriever series of lightweight retrieval models has launched on Hugging Face, beating 8 billion, 4.5 billion, and 0.8 billion parameter versions. The family tops the MTB Vi-Do-Re Ladut. Notably, the Prime 8-bit version reduces index storage footprints 16-fold while maintaining high throughput, supporting completely offline operation on mobile devices like Mixus. One more on this front. Together AI has released Hallmark, a design assistant skill supporting Claude Code Cur and Codex. It features 20 built-in themes and 57 anti-AI pattern checks. By using commands like redesign and study, it rejects the mediocre default layouts found in LLM training data, helping developers generate unique hand-drawn or minist web designs. Next up in our tools section, developer Sam Hogan has open-sourced Inference Autotune. This tool allows developers to distill any frontier closed-source large language model into a task-specific local small language model with just 25 lines of code. By automatically routing requests, it reduces inference costs and latency by over 90%. The entire training process takes only 2 hours and costs under $250. Finally, for tools, developers have open-sourced Modeler, a desktop and mobile application based on Swift MLX. The tool ports the Hanyun 3D paint and shape models directly to Apple Silicon, eliminating the need for PyTorch or cloud computing on an M4 Max chip. Modeler can complete image to 3D mesh generation and real-time texture painting in just 20 seconds. Part 4. Learning. Moving on to our learning section, a developer has created a free interactive graph algorithms visualization website called Learn Graph Theory Gorgi, designed to replace dry textbook pseudocoda. The platform uses dynamic animations to demonstrate how algorithms like breadth first search, depth first search, shortest paths, and spanning trees execute. Next, Resigndries have open-sourced E2AM, an energy-efficient AI model Sukatwit. By adding just 2 lines of code, developers can automatically monitor real power consumption, carbon emissions, and accuracy per joule during PyTorch model training. The tool calculates accuracy energy gradients to provide scientific early stopping signals, helping developers avoid wasting valuable computing power. And to wrap up this section, the GoLab Material Science Smart R&D Factory has launched an uninterrupted 100 proto-hour live stream, jointly built by the Shanghai Institute for AI and Science and Go Museum. The facility demonstrates a closed loop of AI computation, automated experiments, data, feedback, and model self-evolution. The stream shapes AI models autonomously, planning tasks and controlling robotic arms to synthesize catalysts and materials. Part 5. Business. First up in business news, China's embodied AI data sector is experiencing a major funding boom over the past year. 15 independent domestic data providers completed 34 funding rounds, raising a total of 4.47 billion yuan. Notably, Lightwheel AI, which focuses on hybrid simulation and real-world data collection, secured 6 funding rounds totaling 3.1 billion yuan, pushing its valuation past $2 billion. Meanwhile, S&P Global has downgraded Oracle's credit rating to BB-, pushing it close to junk status. S&P highlighted that Oracle's AI infrastructure spending has exceeded expectations, with capital expenditures projected to reach $95 billion by 2027. OpenAI accounts for nearly half of these contract obligations, meaning any financial volatility at OpenAI could leave Oracle facing massive idle capacity debt. One final story today, following initial stock unlocks and a drop in Minimax's market value. Shipu founder Tang Ji released an internal letter titled, "The Giant Wave Has Come." The letter downplays Jipu's commercialized coding business, shifting focus to long-horizon task planning and autonomous evolution. This strategic narrative aims to guide capital markets away from traditional SaaS financial metrics. Part 6. Community. First up in community news, Anthropic has moved its Fable 5 model out of the Claude Pro subscription, transitioning it to a token, build API-only model. This decision has triggered a major wave of cancellations, with many users unsubscribing from Claude and switching to OpenAI GPT 5.6 Sol. The community widely views this move as a self-inflicted wound, especially since OpenAI offers its competitive Sol model at a more affordable price. Next, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman posted on social media that current data shows AI is actually a net job creator at this stage. He admitted this contradicts his previous pessimistic predictions that AI would cause rapid job losses. Meanwhile, Anthropic's CEO Dario Amodei also revised his earlier prediction of a 20% unemployment rate, now emphasizing that AI functions as a productivity multiplier. Moving on, in tests with a Slay the Spire 2 AI agent, the Agentic Spitzes project introduced a 5-layer structured memory system from L1 to L5s. This replaced traditional chat logs, doubling the AI's win rate while reducing token consumption nearly 100-fold. This success has built a community consensus that future agent design should focus on extracting states and decision points rather than resending entire chat histories. Another story from the community, a survey by Orgear reveals that 55% of companies that laid off staff after deploying AI admit it was a mistake. Giants like Ford and Commonwealth Bank of Australia replaced engineers in customer service with automated systems, only to face frequent glitches and a lack of human oversight. To restore declining efficiency, they had to urgently rehire laid-off employees. Meanwhile, cloud database misconfigurations on platforms like Supabase have exposed millions of API tokens and private user data from AI-generated zero-code apps like Moltbook. Security agencies warn that while AI tools lower the barrier to app development, they also allow non-professional developers with low security awareness to push unaudited, vulnerable applications directly into production environments. Finally, for community news, a Brown University economics professor changed the final exam to a closed book, handwritten format after home exam averages hit an unusually high 96%. The class average plummeted to 48.6%, with 19 students failing. Multiple studies confirm that while AI assistance shortens homework time, a lack of independent thinking leads to a collapse in student performance during solo tests. Part 7. More. First up, in other news, Apple published a paper at the ARES 2026 conference exploring behavioral privacy leaks in autonomous negotiation agents. The research shows opponents can infer private bottom lines by observing bid trajectories and timing. To counter this, Apple proposed an adaptive randomized strategy that reduces the opponent's privacy inference accuracy by 43 to 50%, while ensuring agreement convergence. And to wrap up today's briefing, OpenAI safety lead, Johannes Heidecke has announced his departure just as the GPT 5.6 models launch. Heidecke is the third core executive to leave OpenAI this week, following chief futurist Joshua Akiem and AGI head Fiji Simo. This wave of departures highlights ongoing internal tension between safety governance and rapid commercialization at the company. And finally, for this section, a report from Cambridge University's AI Science and Policy Project reveals that terrorist groups, including Boko Haram and ISWAP, are using AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, and DeepSeek. They use these chatbots to plan attacks, make explosives, and learn how to bypass safety filters. The study highlights the severe challenges in safety alignment and jailbreak prevention for large language models. That's all 33 stories for today. Full written coverage is linked in the description. See you tomorrow.